filtering the turbulent dynamical system. First of all, this is collaboration with Professor Andrew Stuart at Warwick and his PhD student Damon McDougall and Professor David Kai at Kurang Institute. So our basic aim here is to go beyond, to overcome the curse of dimension, which is the main problem in the filtering problem in the turbulent dynamical system. And I will present two less or more independent research results. And the first section, we will study the infinite dimensional common filter in the context of linear advection equation. And in the second part, we will study the Fourier diagonal filter in the context of nonlinear one-dimensional Maida-McLaughlin-Tabak MMT wave turbulence model. And finally, I will discuss shortly about how can we go to the tools developed in this section, the wave turbulence tool, to go to analyze the fluid turbulence behavior. So the main problem is the curse of dimension. For example, we would like to filtering of a two-dimensional Navier-Stokes equation with a high Reynolds number. Then, if we take the Fourier coordinate, then it's definitely we have infinite dimensional system. So that if the dynamical system is number is very high, then even if the nonlinear interaction is very strong, at any time we can use the particle filter. But the problem of particle filter is simply does not work at the high dimensional system. So in the numerical computation or in the practically, we must truncate this infinite dimensional system. But however, very small number is only available. So how can we go beyond this limited small dynamical number to the high dimensional system? That's the main idea. So that these days some kind of new tools is developed. The idea is simply use approximate dynamics, which is simpler than the full original complex system, and whose filtering is relatively easy, and we use this approximate dynamics as a filtering. Here, the necessity for the studying of data model mismatch problem arises. So that in this first part, we will study the data model misspecification in the context of the linear advection equation on the torus. Here is the dynamical system and on the torus. The system is given by dynamical system capital U and with the velocity capital C. That's the true dynamical system, and the signal comes from. And we model it as a small u and small c. So if capital C and small c is different, then definitely we have some kind of the model error in this filtering. And we assume that the real data y comes from capital U. However, we assume that the y comes from the small u, and we take the filtering. Here eta is observation noise, and with the covariance operator gamma. Now, all of the system is a linear system. So if we give the Gaussian prior on the initial condition of u x naught as just a small u, then the posterior mean, here small y sub capital T is the observation of the 0 to capital T of the y observation. And this posterior probability distribution is in the Bayesian structure, Bayesian formulation is a product of the prior and the likelihood, depends on this delta C, which is the difference of the true dynamical system's velocity and our model with error.
Could you please specify what's the difference between U capital and U lowercase?
They are the same if the small capital C and small c is the same. However, in general, we made a model error. So model error comes from the small c is different from capital C. So that the dynamics which comes from the solution of this small c is our model, small u, and capital U is the true dynamical system. So normally, true dynamical system capital U is very complicated, and we reduce the dynamics to small u. And here we just, this is not filtering, or in fact it's smoothing. However, because the dynamical system is deterministic, the smoothing problem is immediately the same as the filtering problem. Now, we would like to look at this probability distributions, U capital, given Y, by using Monte Carlo Markov chain method. Suppose that covariance operator is negative Laplacian to the minus alpha. Then this is Gaussian, then the Fourier basis, it looks like following. And now we construct the Markov chain with the proposition and acceptance and rejection probability, Metropolis-Hastings method. Then we can construct the Markov chain, the function space, whose invariant measure is exactly the probability distribution, the posterior measure we would like to sampling. And the result is following. So that we increase the number of observations 50 times and 100 times and 200 times. That is simply just we accumulate observation. And small x-axis, here is the delta C. So C sub none is simply delta C is 0. So there is no model error. The velocity of two model and dynamical system is the same. And y-axis, this is the L2 norm of our posterior mean. And then when there is no model error, then the L2 norm picks as the same number. However, if there is a difference, then L2 norm goes to 0. So that this result is analyzed by just a simple infinite dimensional common filter in this dynamical system. Here, let the limit of this posterior mean as capital M. Then this capital M is different, depends on the delta C is integer or rational number or irrational number. Here, because the dynamical system is periodic system, the integer means just 0. So that the first case, delta C included integer, that means that just there's no model error. The no model error case, the posterior mean should be the U itself. However, if it is not 0, so there's a model difference, model error. With model error, our limit behavior is different from U and just part of the Fourier expansion. So that in this analysis can be formulated as a mathematical link. That's just two operator, which is our accumulation, our observation is accumulation, and the model error just goes in better. So we have more accurate model. These two operators cannot be interchanged. Then this result is the delta C is constant case. Then what happens if we decrease delta C? So as time goes, we just have more accurate dynamical modeling. Then if delta C goes 0 very quickly, so that suppose that this integration converges. And the integer, here also integer is the same as 0. Integer of the alpha, then the result is a little bit similar with the first case, exactly the same case. So the limit behavior is just U or just translation. However, it goes 0 very slowly, so it does not converge. Then we will get the same result of the previous failure of the filter. So in the second case, is alpha is not 0, then the result is a little bit different, just translation. However, there is a smoothing case. The filtering case, we get the same result. So that in summary, the result is if delta C is exactly 0, that means there is no model error, or model error converges to 0 very quickly, then we have the good filtering behavior, limiting behavior. However, otherwise, we cannot expect such a good filtering. That means we have shown that there is some sensitive dependence of the model error on the limiting behavior of the filtering. And finally, if we check if the two dynamical systems velocity is a random variable, there is a stochastic process, and we model it as a deterministic velocity. For example, the delta C is just white noise. Then we found that just the limiting behavior is nothing but a constant. That means we have filter divergence. So that this, if this C, that fluid dynamical velocity is a stochastic process, then this is simply non-linear dynamics. So it's approximating to find the effective dynamics of the linear using the linear dynamics as an approximation of the non-linear dynamics is not so simple. Then how can we then find a good approximate effective dynamics for this non-linear behavior? It will be examined in the context of one-dimensional Maida-Maclaurin-Taba MMT model. Here, this is suggested by Maida, which is called Fourier diagonal filter, and which is very good analytical method can be used as a filtering of a high-dimensional system. Is just presented in the context of L96 model. The L96 model is the following, and here set of OD, and F is the energy driving, and the negative use of J is linear energy damping. So energy driving damping plus some kind of energy interaction change, and energy interaction terms. This is L96 model, and to filtering it, their idea is take a Fourier transform, go to Fourier transform, and then Fourier transform with the nonlinear interaction is very crazy. This crazy term is replaced by simple Orlense-Uhlenbeck noise. That is their idea. Now, they did not present any mathematical reason why this is true. I mean, it can be justified. They did not give any reason, and just numerically show that two dynamical systems' statistical behavior is very similar. So in that sense, it's fine. And then this drift and volatility coefficient, gamma k and sigma k, is fitted from the correlation time and spectrum from the use of k. So it works, but they don't know why it works. So this Fourier diagonal filter we will examine this Fourier diagonal filter in the context of Maidana-Clapin-Tarbach MMT model. This is a one-dimensional wave turbulence model which looks the following. Here, time evolution is consists of two parts. The first part is a linear part, and second part is non-linear part. And we have two parameters, alpha and beta. Both of them is pseudo differential operator's exponent. And here, alpha is related with the linear part, and beta is related with the non-linear part. Even if this is very simple, however, it covers a wide class of PDE, which is studied by wave turbulence community. For example, alpha is 2 and beta is 0. It's just non-linear Schrödinger equation. And if alpha is 1 half, beta is 3, it mimics the scaling law present in the water wave equation, long wave, shallow water equation. So, if we would like the Fourier diagonal filter in this wave turbulence system, take the Fourier transform. This is Hamiltonian system. It consists of two parts, linear part and non-linear part. Linear part is k to the alpha s of k, so that without this non-linear interaction term, it's just a wave equation with the dispersion relationship is k to the alpha. And here is non-linear interaction. So cubic non-linear interaction, there are two kinds of non-linearity here. First of all is amplitude. If a sub k wave amplitude is, for example, order epsilon, and here is epsilon, linear part is order epsilon, and non-linear part is epsilon cube. So this is very small number. In that sense, this is weak. And the interaction tensor's coefficient exponent beta is positive and small number, suppose that. Then this number is very small number. So that in that sense this is weak. So in either case, we can consider this nonlinear interaction term is very weak compared with the nonlinear part. So that we can expect a sharp time scale separation between these two terms. So that by just simply mimicking the Fourier diagonal filter suggested by previously, just replace this nonlinear interaction term is replaced by Orlense-Uhlenbeck process. That's fine. However, it is known that even if this, however, this nonlinear interaction is very weak, there's a renormalized dispersion. We must renormalize the dispersion relationship. And that is normally in the wave turbulence theory, that is normally obtained by just a term-by-term perturbation scheme, because, as I told you, if this term is very weak, then there is a sharp time scale separation between these two guys. So that there are some small parameters here. So using the small parameter, we just term-by-term perturbation of the dispersion relationship is available, must be comparated. So this linear dispersion relationship should be corrected by this small omega k term. And further, but the problem is the following. Because of the form of this nonlinear interaction tensor form, the simple perturbation cannot be applied here in this system. So that we don't know what is this. The second problem is following. So we would like to go beyond this weak turbulence theory to the strong nonlinear system, so that amplitude and beta is not anymore small number, suppose that. Then this term is not anymore weak, so it's very strong. So almost so strong so that there's no time scale separation between two guys. So perturbation speed cannot be used anymore. And even in the case, can we find this kind of small, not anymore small, but the strong correction term of this one? And the first question is, how can we find this one? The second one is, if we found it, then is it the second one is better than the first one? That is our question. And the partial answer comes from the Zhang-Jigmori projection theory. This is the theory which gives us some kind of coarse-grained equation of motion from the Hamiltonian system. And suppose that there is a two dynamical variable A and B, and we define the inner product of A and B as a statistical average of the Gibbs measure. Here H is Hamiltonian and theta is the temperature. And then capital P as a projection onto the A sub k initial condition of the single wave profile A sub k in the MF system. Then we can obtain the generalized linear Lanzmann equation from the following idea. We split this time evolution term by the Ellis Liebel operator by the projection term and the orthogonal term. Then this projection term turns out as the first term, and the orthogonal term lead to the last two terms. The first term is related with the kind of deterministic motion of the each A sub k, and second and third term can be considered as F sub k as noise and capital sub k as a dissipation. So this is a kind of mathematical rearrangement of the Hamiltonian equation of motion, Hamiltonian canonical equation of motion. However, because of this, the relation between capital F k and capital K, by this relation and this famous fluctuation dissipation theorem, we can consider this as a generalization of the linear Lanzmann equation. So that if normally this coarse-grained motion is just non-Markovian equation, because there is no time scale separation between the terms. However, if k is very small, then I will call it the Markovian limit. In this Markovian limit, if k is small, then oscillation of waves of A sub k is very small. So it's very long wave. And but compared with that, the oscillation is comes from not the oscillation, but this random noise comes from the rest of the wave. So it's very fast. And if it is very fast, then this because of this fluctuation dissipation theorem, this dissipation term capital K is almost delta function at 0. So that in that sense, it becomes almost reduced almost the form of the Lanzmann equation. And then there's a time. Furthermore, there's a sharp time scale separation between the first term and the last two terms. The last two terms can be considered can be disregarded as a deterministic oscillation of the waves of K. So this capital omega K, in that sense, can be considered as an effective frequency of the A sub K. Then how this capital omega sub K is different from the original small k to the alpha is I will call the GM, Zhang-Jigmori prediction as the following. Capital omega sub K is k to the alpha, linear part, plus something. And this something is very complicated. It looks complicated and it contains 4-point function. So normally in the wave turbulence community, this 4-point function is reduced to the product of 2-point function by using the random phase approximation. And I will call this a random phase GM prediction by capital omega sub k tilde. And it looks like the following. Analytically very simple. K to the alpha linear dispersion relationship plus some constant which has nothing to do with alpha, and times k to the beta of 2. I will emphasize here both of these capital omega k GM prediction and the capital tilde omega k random phase GM prediction are non-perturbative result. I have not used any kind of perturbation scheme. There is no time scale separation between the linear and non-linear terms. And this is valid only for small k, because Zhang-Jigmori theory previously tells us that this can be solved as effective oscillation only for small k. They did not tell anything about the high wave number. However, if we look at closely this random phase GM approximation, then this term looks very similar with the result of the perturbation scheme. That means so far there is no reason for this two result is applied for the high wave number. But because it is very similar with the looks similar with the traditionally obtained perturbation scheme, which is not restricted to small wave number anymore, to the whole wave number, this can be considered as a non-perturbative generalization of the traditional perturbative result. So if this is successful, then we can say that this two result can be applied to the high wave number. So the next step should be the numerical simulation, which check that is this true for all high wave number or just a small wave number as predicted by the Zhang-Jing-Morris theory. And to our surprise, the numerical simulation shows that it is true, not anymore that small wave number, but for all wave number. So that means that this two analytical result can be considered as a kind of analytical function because of this long wave numbers, the later behavior, k is big, is determined by the small wave number. So in the case of the alpha is 1/2, beta is 6 case, and you must keep in mind that k to the alpha linear dispersion, which is very different from the scaling with omega k, and which is very similar to omega k tilde. And omega k tilde looks like the k to the alpha linear relationship plus c sub beta, which has nothing to do with alpha constant, times k to the beta over 2. So that a little bit alpha and beta is independent. So that beta is a little bit different scaling with beta over 2 is different scaling with alpha. Then definitely the two behavior should be very different. And this k to the alpha is just a traditionally predicted dispersal relationship. So that our new theory will be sharply distinguished. So this is the numerical simulation of the k to the alpha is 1/2, beta is 6. Beta is 6 case is just the renormalization factor is k to the cube. So that very different from the 1/2. And this black one is the k to the 1/2, omega k dispersal relationship plot. And this red one is the GM prediction, Zhang-Jing-Morris prediction. And the blue one is the random phase GM prediction. And our green one is a numerically observed frequency. That means among these three guys, this GM prediction agrees the best. However, still the random phase GM is also fine. These two are very different from the traditional one. So and the result is at the end of the wave number, it's just not anymore 50 or 5% correction. It's almost 500%. It's not anymore correction. So that this picture cannot be captured by traditional just perturbative method. And for the blue one is fine, and but the problem is the red one agrees with the best. However, blue one is not so next to the best. But red one, in the case of red one, if we come back, then GM prediction is kind of contains 4-point function. So there's no analytic closure. We don't have any closure to obtain the analytical. So I used the numerically measured 4-point function. But in the case of random phase GM prediction, we have analytical closure. So the analytically, without numerical computation, we know that this blue one, and we know that this blue one is very good. And furthermore, as I told you, the Zhang-Jing-Morris theory, projection theory, is true only for small wave, and this true. It turns out that numerically it turns for whole wave number, and the reason is why. And in the blue one case, we have very simple reasoning why it works, just because of mean field argument of trivial resonance. That means this kind of renormalization relationship is mainly due to the corrective effect of the trivial resonance. Trivial resonance is following. Given the Hamiltonian system, Hamiltonian is H split by H2 and H4. H2 is the linear part, and H4 is non-linear part. So if we take a look at the non-linear part, it's just a 4-point function. AK1, AK2, 3 star, 4 star. So the interaction is 4 waves. However, if K1 is K3 or K4, then that is not anymore the 4-wave interaction. It's just 2-wave interaction. There are only 2 waves. So I will call this the trivial resonance, and the rest is non-trivial resonance. And the trivial resonance because law of large number from the point of view of single wave, it interacts with so many other waves. So it just interacts with the background waves. So that using that argument, it just statistically averaged and it should be incorporated the linear part. And after incorporation of the linear part, the linear oscillation of the effective, I will call it effective Hamiltonian, it just obeys of k tilde as of k scale. The rest is non-trivial resonance. That means, so that we just think that because of the linear part and nonlinear part when it's weak, just there's sharp time scale separation between the H2 and H4 only. However, that is not true. The trivial resonance part is almost as fast as the linear part. So it must be incorporated in the linear part. In that sense, the nonlinear interaction is strength is decreased, so that almost the weak turbulence, traditionally known, the weak turbulence region fall into category of traditionally known weak turbulence region. So that the system with strong nonlinear system cannot be applied to the weak turbulence theory, which is applied to only the nonlinear is very weak and strongly depend on time scale separation between linear and nonlinear part. We extend the kind of theory to the strong nonlinear system can be approximated by the weak turbulence region. So this result shows that trivial resonance is more important, cannot be comparable with the non-trivial resonance, because trivial resonance is almost the linear part, non-trivial resonance just the non-trivial resonance part, the weak nonlinear part. So in this argument, we extend our omega k tilde random phase GM prediction as a whole wave number. So that we have two kind of analytical prediction. That means, so the filtering of the Maida-McLaughlin-Tabak MMT model, the first one is simply, I don't know very much about this nonlinear integration, just replaced by simply by Wooley process. That is first crude idea. Second idea is more sophisticated. No, the trivial resonance part should be pulled out and incorporated to the nonlinear linear part. That is our second one. So these two modeling, we must compare the model error, and the top one is the blue one is without renormalization, and the red one is after renormalization. We measure the model error, and the x-axis is observation time. And as observation time increases, the difference between the model error should be, the gap is bigger and bigger, because we captured the frequency behavior. So observation time is very big, the frequency should be more important. And filtering, definitely after renormalization, filtering is better. And this theory tells us more about the kind of this theory shows the possibility of going beyond the wave turbulence to the fluid turbulence theory. The reason is following. So in the case of MMT system, we diagonalize the system by the incorporation of the off-diagonal nonlinear interaction part to the diagonal part using mean field argument. So original k to the alpha dispersion relationship is replaced by k to the alpha plus this over beta k to the beta over 2. And the less nonlinear interaction is just replaced by Wollensee-Uhlenbeck process and incorporated. So that is the more sophisticated Fourier diagonal filter. But however, if k to the alpha is not present, suppose that, so that there is no nonlinear interaction, no linear part, then still the Zhang-Jung-Morris theory and everything, every argument can be applied so that MMT system without the bare frequency is still can be considered as effective diagonalization of the system. So that the situation is following. Now the Hamiltonian system and the equation of the time evolution is just there is no linear part. Only nonlinear interaction exists. And this situation can be approximated by the weak nonlinear system. That means the oscillation part and very weak term. And the reason this is important, the result is important is following. Normally, the fluid turbulence case, if there's a sharp scale separation of the dissipation and the energy driving, then there's a Hamiltonian formulation is possible. So that, for example, in the Clebsch variable case, in the two-dimensional Navier classification if the driving and damping is very sharply separated in the high wave number and small wave number case. We just truncate it. And the meanwhile is we call the inertial range, and that is almost, not almost, always can be formulated Hamiltonian formulation. But if we have Hamiltonian formulation, then this kind of argument is always possible because Zhang-Jing-Morris theory is, which one I used, it's just a Hamiltonian system, strongly depend on the Hamiltonian system and Gibbs measure. So that using this method, we can go to the fluid turbulence, and the numerical simulation shows that it is true. This is first top one is omega k plot, and the red one is the GM prediction, and blue one is random phase GM prediction, and the green one is our numerical simulation. And our model error and filter error so shows the similar result. So that in this way, we can go beyond the traditional theory to the fluid turbulence theory, analyzed turbulence theory, and that the traditionally obtained weak turbulence theory, weak wave turbulence theory can be applied in this system, in the fluid turbulence system. So summarize, as a summary, we just shown the wave sensitively wave speed dependence on the model error. So that we should be very careful about approximating the true complicated dynamical system. And mainly due to the trivial resonance, we have found that there is a sharp time scale separation between the trivial and non-trivial resonances. And using that one, we can go to the fluid turbulence using the similar tool can be set to field out. Thank you, I'm done.
Questions? Questions? Let's thank again.